everyone. Lauren Culp here, publisher and CEO at CUInsight.com. And I am back again with a 3 questions video interview. I'm really excited about our conversation today. It's one that's really critical for credit unions to remain successful in the years to come. So joining me is Nate Shahan, the co-founder and chief product officer at Segmint. And we're talking all about AI and machine learning in financial services. Really excited to have you here, Nate. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Oh, this is great to be here and really looking forward to the conversation.
Awesome. Me too. So let's dive right in. How would you describe AI and machine learning being used today in the financial services space?
Well, that's a great question. I think it's human instinct to, for the mind to just kind of go to chat bots, maybe some process automation like loan application automation, things like that, or hey Siri, transfer some money for me from account to account. But application of AI in financial services, specifically in the credit union space, is probably more widespread than many people think of. But in most situations, it's a very siloed kind of application of the technology to largely support things like I mentioned, kind of process automation, customer service, risk and fraud areas of the institution. And the reality is oftentimes the benefits of those applications are really heavily weighted to the credit union rather than to the members of the credit union. And so, which is okay. These are all great, uses of the technology, but oftentimes are very transparent to the membership, right? Like what are the benefits to them? And so, I think that's something we'll see shift, in the future with application of AI and ML technologies and practices.
That's so true. And we talk a lot about, good member service these days to a member is going to be the seamless experience, not having to input the same information over and over again, ease of use. So this is really critical for credit unions to stay successful. Yep. So I'm curious, what key areas should a credit union look for when they're searching for a vendor? I'm guessing this may not be something they would build in-house. So what would you say that they should really be looking for when they're looking for a vendor partner here?
I'd be very interested in understanding the scope of data that they're leveraging within the technologies, the AI and ML solutions they're bringing to the table. And what I mean by that is traditionally, we see a lot of slower moving data leveraged around these types of implementations, and specifically around making predictions, on member behavior, so on. And what I mean by like slower moving data are things that are non-transactional. Transactional data can mean as simply, the card swipes or ACH, payments or types of transactions, B2B payments, or whatever the case may be. So slower moving data would be things like, how many branch visits, did a member have in a given period of time, or ATM uses, or, what was the balance of an account at the beginning of month versus the end of the month. That's slower moving data and still very useful for AI and ML applications and even member predictions around behaviors and things like that, but is only one critical element of data. And so I would really push a vendor to ensure that they're using also that faster moving data, spend type data, even channel interaction type data, even down to, am I looking at, mortgage rates offered by my credit union? What was that online interaction I had with customer service at the institution, and ensure that a vendor is using the full scope of data as it's being produced by the member base, really to get the full value that AI and ML can bring to an institution.
That's got to be something that, thinking about how many data silos, especially, some credit unions that have all these legacy systems have been using for years and years, something that really could use the expertise of that third-party partner to come in and say, okay, let's gather this all together.
Yeah. And I would just add, it's been very difficult for financial institutions to leverage things like spend data, transaction data that lives within the core, DDA accounts and so on, because quite honestly, it's extremely messy. It's difficult to work with. By the time it lands in the core of the credit union, that spend data has been manipulated through the payment ecosystem and so on, or truncated or added to, and it's very difficult to use, but really provides the most robust intelligence and understanding of what's going on in a member's life right now. What's going on in their life is what they're spending their money on and what's most important to them.
Right.
And so it's been difficult to use that data with these kind of applications and use with AI and ML, but it's possible now with advances in technology and enrichment capabilities on that type of data, really to reasonably bring it into the picture for use, and it'll bear more fruit than any other data asset that's been used, historically.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
so how, in your opinion, can AI really be that differentiator for credit unions? And do you have any predictions for sort of the growth of AI and machine learning?
Yeah, so it's not if it will be, it's going to be a differentiator. And the key is, are you able to take application of it out of the silos and apply it to the membership as a whole, right? And where AI has been deployed, previously, like we talked about that, some of the use cases around risk or customer service or automation and so on, all useful, but application of AI and ML to understand data of every single member as it's being produced by those members, those are breadcrumbs. Those are hints about what's going on in their lives. And I urge, the credit union space really to start there as far as their roadmap for application of AI and ML at scale outside of these silos is really around data enrichment and understanding of the data that, like I mentioned, is oftentimes in poor quality once it gets into the hands of the institution and their core. And I see a lot of robust application of AI being deployed in that way around member understanding through data analysis as that data is being produced.
Well, I think we could talk about AI, machine learning, and maybe some of the predictions that we have for it, or the ways that we see it kind of growing and evolving. We can talk about it forever, probably. But as we wrap up our conversation today, I'm curious, are there any final thoughts you have for our audience or final asks that you would have of our listeners?
Yeah, I would just, I guess where things are going is really to start looking at application of these technologies and the data behind them, kind of shifting the benefits a little more balanced, where there's an equal benefit between the credit union and the member of application of these technologies in play. What I mean by that is there's the opportunity to really make a difference in somebody's financial life, help them make financial decisions, help them grow financially, grow from an intelligence perspective around, financials by applying this technology and these capabilities in the right way. And I really do believe that's where the industry is going, is robust and wide scale understanding of data through AI and ML, and then innovating, right, great customer experiences and helping these customers and members make life-changing decisions that are really going to impact the next day for them. And so really urge, the credit union space to really apply this technology against their data at scale as soon as they can, because that's where the industry's going.
Absolutely. Well, we will link to your stuff at Segmint, all of your website contact information stuff here in the post for anybody who wants to get in touch. Sounds like you have a wealth of knowledge, really, really great option for credit unions who are looking to get further into AI and machine learning. Nate, thank you so much for being here today. It is great getting to chat with you. To all of our viewers, thanks so much for tuning in to our 3 questions video interview series, and we will be back again next time. Thanks so much, Nate.
Thanks.